Shalom. This is Yom Yerushalayim, Jerusalem Day. It's the 44th anniversary of the restoration of reunification of the two parts of Jerusalem. And it's quite an important day and period in Jewish history because between 1948 and 1967, when the Israelis did not have sovereignty over the old city of Jerusalem, the Jordanians did. They were able to successfully take that in the war away from the Jewish people. The Jordanians turned that into horse stables and destroyed the synagogues. In fact, some of the synagogues have just been rebuilt recently. So religious access to the Jewish holy sites was denied to the Jews. It's only under Jewish sovereignty of Jerusalem that Jews have restored religious freedom to the whole city, and so that Christians, Muslims, Jews, and other people can now access the holy sites. So Jerusalem clearly should stay in Jewish hands. In fact, the neighborhoods now are so interspersed between Christian, Arab, and Jew that it would be impossible to divide it up. The problem is several-fold. First of all, the President of the United States currently, Obama, seems to feel that Jerusalem is disputed because he tried to force Israel to have a settlement freeze on apartments in areas of Jerusalem that nobody thinks are disputed, that everybody knows is eventually going to end up in the land of Israel. And the Palestinian Authority boss, Abbas, said even he did not believe that it wasn't his idea to have a full freeze on buildings. The bigger issue, though, is that the partner for peace supposedly the world thinks that exists is the Palestinian Authority. Besides the fact they now are in bed with Hamas, a known terrorist organization, they continue to send out information denying Jewish connections historically to the land of Israel and to Jerusalem, which is amazing because obviously they don't read the Bible. If you just open up the Bible, you see that Jerusalem is mentioned almost 700 times. Open up the Quran. Where is it mentioned once? Clearly, you go way back in Jewish history from God's original promise to Abraham 4,000 years ago. I'll send you to a land that you'll see. To the promises in Deuteronomy that there'll be a centralized place for worship, which is Jerusalem, and to the later sources. And just think about these beautiful words from the book of Psalms, Psalm 122. Our feet stood inside your gates, O Jerusalem. Pray for the well-being of Jerusalem. May the Lord bless you from Zion. May you share the prosperity of Jerusalem. That's from Psalm 128. Or Psalm 48. Walk around Zion and circle her, count its towers. The rabbis, too, in the Talmud and Kedushin said, 10 portions of beauty descended to the world. Jerusalem acquired 9, and on and on and on. From the very beginning of Jewish history, whether it's Abraham, Moses, Joshua, Judges, all the way through all the prophets, Jerusalem was the center. And King David built he wanted to build the house of the temple in Jerusalem. He established Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, brought the ark there, but it was left to Solomon, King Solomon, David's son, to build the holy temple. And then it was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BCE, and the Jews came back and rebuilt it. And it was destroyed again by the Romans in 70, but never once, not for 1 second, have the Jews stopped praying for Jerusalem. It's not only at the Passover Seder where we say next year in Jerusalem, but we say it every day in our prayers to restore us to Jerusalem. I go once a year. I love being in Jerusalem. I think everybody should go. When you see the amazing divide, you have the old city, which looks like it's from the medieval times, a magnificent bridge back to the past, and then West Jerusalem, which is a modern city, still beautiful in its Jerusalem color. But these are some of the significant issues, and so we have to work very hard to make sure Jerusalem is never divided again, that it stays in Jewish hands, that the Jews alone are the ones who can be trusted to guarantee religious sovereignty. And so as we celebrate now Jerusalem Day on the 44th anniversary of the reunification of the old city and the new by the Israeli troops in the 67 war, we thank God that Jews again once have unimpeded access to our religious holy sites, as do Christians and Muslims. And we have to preserve that in the heartbeats of the Jewish people. I remember watching a movie about the Independence Day War, Cast a Giant Shadow, which I recommend as a great movie. And the American officer who was the Haganah asked to come in and help shape the Israeli army said there was a siege of Jerusalem by the Arabs and maybe they should give up Jerusalem to save the rest of the country. And they have the actor playing Ben Gurion there giving a magnificent speech about how you can't give up Jerusalem. Jerusalem's the heart of the soul of the Jewish people. We believe the capital of the whole world and the place that God loves above all.